Welcome to this deep dive. We're tackling a brand new study out of the University of Zurich today.
That's right, looking into what the public really thinks about AI risks.
Exactly. We've got findings from, three big online experiments, US and UK.
Yep, over 10,000 people involved.
Yeah.
Pretty solid basis.
Definitely. And our mission, really, is to get a handle on what people are actually concerned about with AI.
Because you hear so much about the big, dramatic, far-off stuff.
Right, the Terminator scenarios. But is that what's keeping people up at night? Or is it the more immediate issues?
Well, that's the core question this study digs into. Does all that talk about, existential threats, does it drown out concerns about the problems AI is causing right now? Things like bias, misinformation.
Okay, so what did they find? What's the main headline from this Zurich study?
The big finding is pretty clear. People are significantly more worried about those immediate risks.
More worried than the long-term existential stuff.
Yeah, much more. Things like algorithmic bias in decisions,
Right.
or AI spreading fake news, or job losses. That seems to be top of mind for most participants.
Interesting. So how did they figure that out? What was the setup for these experiments?
So the researchers, political scientists actually, they set up these online experiments. They showed participants different kinds of news headlines about AI.
Okay.
Some headlines were all about those potential future catastrophes, AI taking over, that kind of thing. Others focused squarely on present-day harms discrimination through AI, deepfakes, job displacement. And then a third group saw headlines about potential benefits of AI.
So they were testing reactions to different framings of AI risk and benefits.
Exactly. They wanted to see which narrative provoked the most concern.
And the results pointed towards the present-day harms.
Overwhelmingly so. Professor Fabrizio Gilardi, one of the authors, he put it pretty plainly. He said people were much more worried about present risks posed by AI than about potential future catastrophes.
Wow. So even when they literally showed people headlines about future doom.
Right. Even when exposed directly to those existential risk narratives, people still rated things like systematic bias and job losses as bigger concerns. It points to a very grounded, present-focused anxiety.
That's a really key point. The media might hype the far-off dangers, but people's gut feelings seem tied to, reality right now. But does the study say people just dismiss the future risks entirely? Or is it more nuanced?
Oh, it's definitely more nuanced. This study actually found people are perfectly capable of distinguishing between the theoretical long-term stuff and the immediate tangible problems.
So they can hold both ideas.
Exactly. And they can take both seriously. It's not like worrying about bias means you can't also think the long-term risks are important. People seem to manage both.
Which leads us right into that debate, doesn't it? The one about whether focusing too much on existential risk takes attention away from fixing the urgent problems AI creates today.
Yeah, and this study offers some real data on that. What it suggests is that awareness of the present threats persists, even when people are exposed to the big future risk narratives.
So talking about future risks doesn't necessarily make us ignore current ones.
Apparently not, according to this data. Emma Hose, the other author, she noted that the discussion about long-term risks is not automatically occurring at the expense of alertness to present problems.
Okay, that's quite reassuring in a way. It suggests we can have a broad conversation.
Right. And Professor Gilardi argued for that, too. He talked about needing a concurrent understanding and appreciation of both immediate and potential future challenges.
Not an either-or situation.
Exactly. He really pushed against that. We need to be able to walk and chew gum, basically address the now and plan for the future.
Makes sense. And just so you know, the study itself is called Existential Risk Narratives About AI Do Not Distract from Its Immediate Harms. It was published in PNAS recently.
Yeah, April 17th, 2025. Good reference.
So, wrapping this up a bit, the main takeaway seems to be, yes, people acknowledge future AI risks, but the immediate concerns, bias, misinformation, jobs, those are hitting home much harder right now.
Precisely. And it suggests our public discourse, maybe our policy focus too, needs to really balance both. We can't let the sci-fi scenarios completely overshadow the very real present-day impacts.
So here's something to think about then. If the public is more focused on these immediate harms, how should that change the way we talk about AI safety and regulation? Does it mean we need to lift resources, shift the focus of the conversation to really tackle bias and misinformation head on, maybe more than we currently are, while still keeping an eye on the horizon?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? How to allocate that attention and those resources effectively, given what the public is actually worried about right now. Definitely food for thought.
Absolutely. Well, thanks for digging into the study with us. Really insightful stuff.